Welcome to another edition of the Exo News Bulletin Podcast, where we present the audio version of bullet points posted on the exonews.org website, summarizing a recent UFO or extraterrestrial-related internet article. I'm Duke Brickhouse, Chief Editor of the Exo News. Today's article is from June 21st, 2019, entitled, "Is the Air Force Flying Planes Developed from Alien Tech?" It was originally posted on the survivalupdate.com website. For a link to the original article, visit exonews.org. Top secret, super high-tech experimental airplanes that are tested over notorious Air Force bases such as Wright-Patterson, Groom Lake, and Area 51 have often been mistaken for UFOs. In fact, UFOs and secret military aircraft have been so intimately related that it is thought that they were actually reverse engineered from crashed and captured UFOs. No such story is better known among UFO circles than the fabled Project Aurora. In the late 80s and early 1990s, the futuristic Aurora aircraft was being flown out of Area 51 under distinctly covert circumstances. The large, black-colored, triangular-shaped aircraft is said to be able to fly and maneuver at incredible speeds, over 6,000 miles per hour, and could outfly just about anything else on the planet. But according to the U.S. government, the Aurora does not exist and has never existed. In March 1990, an article in Aviation Week and Space Technology magazine revealed that the term Aurora had appeared in the 1985 U.S. budget, possibly appearing by mistake, as the program was so top secret that its very existence had to be denied at all costs. The rumored $500 million development cost for the aircraft had been paid to those at Area 51 working on an experimental alien-inspired aircraft. By 1987, the budget for Project Aurora had soared to over $2 billion. In the early 1990s, there were a string of sightings of large, triangular-shaped craft over Scotland. Recently released documents show that members of the United Kingdom's Parliament had looked into rumors that the Aurora was operating secretly out of RAF Machrynashish Air Base at the tip of Kintyre, Scotland. Briefing notes to Defense Secretary Tom King on March 4, 1992, reported it would not surprise the relevant desk officers in the Air Staff and Defense Intelligence Staff if it did exist. Chris Gibson, an aircraft expert having 12 years' experience with the Royal Observer Corps, said he saw a triangular plane flanked by 2 U.S. fighters being refueled in flight by tanker while he was working on the Galveston Key oil rig, Texas, in 1989. The plane was unlike anything he had ever seen and reported the sighting to Jane's Defense Weekly in 1992. Predecessors to the Aurora Triangle craft were the U.S. Air Force's SR-71 Blackbird spy plane from 1964 to 1998 and the U-2 spy plane in the late 50s, early 60s. In the late 1990s, journalist Nick Cook of Jane's Defense Weekly traveled to Lockheed's Skunk Works to interview its head, Jack Gordon, and tour the facility. Cook writes, "Just before I left the Skunk Works building, I stopped in front of a large chart on the wall of the lobby area. It proudly illustrated the lineage of every Skunk Works aircraft since the XP-80. Past the picture of the U-2, past the SR-71 Blackbird and the F-117A stealth fighter, past the AF-22 and Dark Star, there was something called Astra." Cook asked Lockheed's press representative what Astra was, and weeks later he was told it was a 30-year-old concept for a high-speed airliner. In 2013, Lockheed announced that it had in development the SR-72, the successor to the famous SR-71 Blackbird. In 2017, observers reported the first sightings of a demonstrator model of the planned SR-72 high-speed aircraft. Rob Weiss, Executive Vice President and General Manager of Lockheed Martin's Advanced Development Programs, hinted that progress towards an optionally piloted SR-72 was proceeding on schedule. Weiss is quoted as saying, "We, along with DARPA and the services, are working hard to get that capability into the hands of our war fighters as soon as possible." So the SR-72 is definitely a thing, and it may just owe its lineage and pedigree to a plane named Aurora, or Astra, that supposedly does not exist, sitting atop a famous family tree. Editor's note: in Dr. Michael Sala's latest book, U.S. Air Force Secret Space Program, Shifting Extraterrestrial Alliances and Space Force, Dr. Sala states that Edgar Fouché, who spent 12 years working at Area 51 in the 1980s and 90s, confirmed that the SR-71 Blackbird had indeed been replaced by Aurora-class aircraft, e.g. hypersonic aircraft that employs anti-gravity and stealth technology. See Chapter 15. Said Fouché, the Aurora comprises the SR-75, capable of speeds above Mach 5, and acts as a mothership for the SR-74 that can travel at speeds of Mach 18 or more into space to deliver satellites. Fouché also revealed that there is a third vehicle belonging to the Aurora program called the TR-3B, codenamed Astra, which was the most highly classified program that he and other workers at the Groom Lake Area 51 facility were aware of. The triangular-shaped and nuclear-powered Astra is the most classified aerospace development program in existence. The TR-3B Astra also incorporates 3 rocket engines using conventional fuel sources like hydrogen, oxygen, and/or methane. The anti-gravity system is a magnetic field disruptor, which rotates highly pressurized mercury-based plasma around a circular accelerator ring. MFD technology reduces the craft's weight by a factor of 89%, which allows its conventional jet propulsion system to provide the necessary thrust to make the TR-3B outperform conventional vehicles. The TR-3B is a high-altitude stealth reconnaissance platform with an infinite loiter time. Fouché references Scotland as one of the locations where an operational TR-3B was based. Hundreds of witnesses reported black triangle craft in the skies over Scotland and Belgium from November 1989 to April 1990, including a very well-documented incident on March 30th, 1990, involving Belgian F-16 fighters attempting to intercept a flying triangle. Corey Good asserts that the TR-3B was a hand-me-down to the U.S. Air Force's military space program from an even more advanced and classified space program when covert U.S. and German corporations combined to build a vast fleet of vehicles for the Antarctic German Dark Fleet space program throughout the 1960s and early 70s. The TR-3B was among the vehicles that were developed during this period. According to Dr. Sala, as of September 2017, the USAF has abandoned its deep state Antarctic German reptilian corporate allies and have now joined with a rival Nordic ET faction to reveal to the public its advanced air and spacecraft and low-orbit space platforms under a forthcoming limited disclosure scenario.
This has been an Exo News Bulletin with Chief Editor Duke Brickhouse. Visit our website at exonews.org. Subscribe to this podcast. Exo News is sponsored by the Exopolitics Institute, a U.S.-based 501c3 nonprofit educational organization.